Dragonflight still has unannounced features. Now, we talked a little bit about some of this stuff. Me talking about Saturn Athreus coming back, unannounced stuff going down. Essentially, the retaking of Gilneas was they didn't even talk about that shit at BlizzCon, and that's a big thing. So what else is Blizzard hiding from us? Let's find out.
Welcome back, everyone. What a week it has been, and with... Why would they...
I'm so
it has
scrubbed.
been, and with the return of Tier Patch 10.2 is done. However,
scuffed.
as it
Scuffed
happens,
streamer.
we're seeing Blizzard respond to some player issues lightning fast. We've got data mining emerging from Patch 10.2.5's PTR.
Cadence, I geared out while I was
Blizzard
gone.
really were not joking when they implied that Dragonflight still has surprises for us.
454.
And you see what Dragon Riding did to Flight? Well, actually, it seems Blizzard are going to be doing something special to ground mounts as well.
Oh.
Now, Vampire Survivors. It is a game that costs less than a bag of crisps, or I should perhaps say chips for my American viewers. It's a game that took the world by storm. It claimed many of my own hours. It got best game at the BAFTA Game.
Hint at Saturday Athreus coming back. Vampire Survivor. If he's a vampire, I don't know. Maybe I'm making stupid-ass connections.
Awards.
Just
And
saying.
it might have infiltrated Azeroth. Yeah, I know, really. Patch 10.2.5 Vampire Survivors mode game mode client scene. And another line, 10.2.5 Vampire Survivors mode data creatures. What are these? These are entries that have been discovered in World of Warcraft scene script database. Now, this is a database that is often used for minigames and cutscenes. And basically, to us who are not on the dev team, this may all seem like rather arcane stuff, though there are a few tutorial videos of how to do...
I think this Vampire Survivor game, personally, I think this has to do with the retaking of Gilneas. Because you can imagine, like, mobs coming in, and that's what a Vampire Survivor game is. It's just mobs coming in like crazy, and you're just blasting them down. I feel like that could happen in a retaking of Gilneas, where you just got a ton of shit coming at you, and you enter this Vampire Survivor mode.
Scene scripting in private servers, but, you know, it's a bit hush-hush, and I don't think I'm supposed to talk about that here, but anyway. What this does kind of
tower defense game. Yeah, exactly. Like, I could imagine that being part of the Gilneas retaking.
If this was just a reference to a cool game that came out, why would they call it mode? It doesn't say Vampire Survivors. It says Vampire Survivors game mode. What is this, a mini game? Now, just to make sure everyone understands what this kind of means. In Vampire Survivors, basically, it's all kind of based on auto-attacking abilities. Enemies come at you, and killing enemies gets you XP. You pick the XP up, you level up. When you do, you get a choice of 3 items. There's a very large pool of items, and the game is basically very much about buildcraft. And it's one of those games, it's very, very simple. It does have a fair amount of depth, and it does reward you understanding its systems, and its progression is just very, well, addicting. Now, could Blizzard kind of pull this off in WoW? The answer to that is yes. They could emulate something really rather readily like a Vampire Survivors experience by using tools they've already built for the likes of Torghast. I mean, come on, Vampire Survivors, level up, pick one of 3. They could do that with their Torghast ability system, which of course they reused for stuff like, the Blue Dragon area in the Azure Span.
Yeah.
So,
look, Shadowlands is what it was, but there's still some systems in there that can be used going forward. I mean, one of them was the Catalyst, right? That came from Shadowlands, if I remember right. So there are things that came from Shadowlands that aren't too bad. I mean, Zovaal can be left there forever to rot and die, but the rest of it, there's some things that you can pull from it. Now, whether or not they're going to use it in this Vampire Survivor mode, potentially, yeah, the Torghast stuff kind of was that, and that you got abilities and you kept getting more powerful as you went on.
This could actually be something.
I hated those abilities in fucking, what's Sanctum of Domination. Worst shit ever.
Just
that first monster was so dumb.
Maybe making a fun minigame.
Especially when you invited
fun
somebody.
Side thing to do in WoW. If that is the case, I'm here for it.
Yeah, Heroic
so
is
here's
fresh.
a screenshot from WoW.tools, a data mining platform ran by Marleman, whose uncountable hours of labor have massively contributed to the WoW community. Now, here is the new string that was data mined. 10.2.5 prototype dynamic ground mount DNT, with the description, the rapid technological evolution of the descendants of Mimiron began the introduction of new gear, leading to such wonders as the tragically underproduced Model W. Here's the
dynamic ground mount. Are they going to give us dynamic flying, but for the ground mounts? Like sprint abilities and shit? That'd be kind of cool.
Model W, and if you are thinking about Mr. Garrison's ass blasting innovation from a certain South Park episode, yeah, me too. Now, this was popularized by Mr. GM, and then Marleman replied to him in X saying, there also appears to be a jump dash ability connected to it. So, dynamic ground mount with a jump dash ability.
That's pretty
what
cool.
are the team cooking up? It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe this will be one of the surprises that we maybe will expect. But I will note one thing. The Algarian Storm Rider is evidence of something, because it has the basic dragon riding abilities, but instead of Whirling Surge, it has a new ability called Lightning Rush, where it builds up static charges from being near walls, and whenever you build up enough charges, you get an extended speed boost at the cost of your ability to turn. So clearly then...
I didn't know that. That's really cool. So if they're going to make mount-specific abilities, that's pretty badass, especially if they attach it to lore a little bit or something, like this one's attached to electricity. Imagine giving Invincible like some kind of cool mount ability. Like, I don't know, when you fly in Northrend near Ice Crown or something, you get some kind of crazy boost ability or something. That would be really neat.
Right? For future
I'm all for
families
extra
of
abilities in
dynamic
dragon
flight
riding.
mounts, Blizzard will be able to actually just
Asses of
put
Alar, yeah, you
different
just get a big
abilities there, so that
flaming
perhaps
booty ability.
they'll actually fly differently or maybe have some unique strengths. Clearly then, dragon riding is what dragons do, but with dynamic flight, the overall system, Blizzard has space to do other things. Of course, what immediately jumps to my mind is the new player customizable airship.
We still haven't seen a lot of this yet, but this customizable mount is really... Now, the new Algarian Storm Rider, if you don't know, it is customizable. There's like, you can pick different colors, you can pick different saddles, different looks for some of the stuff on it, but this is like a whole new level of it. This essentially is like crazy abilities. Now, we thought this was all cosmetic, but what if some of these new things that you can attach to this mount give you some type of ability? Like this actually gives you a boost when you're riding, or there's a drill back here behind my picture that... what if that allows you to like go underground or something? I don't know. There's some kind of cool stuff here. This is opening up a new possibilities here for mounts.
That you'll be able to earn parts for by doing the Delve feature in the War Within. So kind of spicy. They're clearly trying to roll with this, and ground mounts, maybe that's happening. And if this is all way too good to be true, well, World of Warcraft's vice president has certainly given us reason to expect spicy things. So we can all agree follower dungeons are a pretty major feature for the game. Taliesin and Avatel felt that it was rather odd then that Blizzard didn't promote this feature at BlizzCon, because surely they would have got loads of free PR. So they tweeted that, or X'd that, whatever, and loads of Blizzard staff replied, and they said, well, all of these things, as you can see right now, including Holly. Now, clearly then, Blizzard have more planned than we know.
They're all looking around what's going on here.
I mean, hey, Dragonflight is confirmed to have 3 more patches. And
yeah, they're essentially saying that there's a lot more unannounced shit to come. You best buckle up. And like I said, freaking Gilneas, retaking of Gilneas would have been a huge thing to say at BlizzCon. That we're going to get a 0.5. And they didn't even mention it, not even a hint. So they're holding back on some cool stuff.
What have I covered in today's video? I have covered a dynamic ground mount and also seemingly whatever the hell this Vampire Survivors thing is. What we can more traditionally expect, obviously, is continued plot that will lead us into the War Within, a fated season that is more substantial, including world content, maybe some non-raid / dungeon time walking and
faded WoW,
and some
faded outdoor
10.1.7 data mining. You would not be insane to expect a return of the Brawlers Guild in evergreen fashion, and that's because assets that very curiously did look like Brawlers Guild things appeared in that patch, but of course are not in the game right now. Perhaps, though, more importantly, to me it's quite clear the WoW team are, even after a round of well-received announcements, still projecting confidence and still feeling comfortable to hint at more. So, this is all cool, but it has been rather feature-focused. With that said, I think it's time we dove straight into World of Warcraft, as we can play it today. WoW is 19 years old. That means we're getting a 19% XP and reputation boost. Just open up your mailbox. This is, of course, great for all of that, seed.
Get your shit, guys. Get your WoW rep and everything else. That's great. But back to what he was just saying, the dynamic mounts and all that opens up a world of possibilities, honestly. I would love that. I'm all about more mount stuff. I've always said that ground mounts, I feel like I still prefer ground mounts over flying mounts. Like, just in terms of, like, aesthetic, like, riding, like, the feeling that you get when you're riding around. I don't know what it is. I feel like riding horseback, call me, like, an old-fashioned Lord of the Rings lover or something, but there's something about exploring by horseback that I just like more. So if they made ground mounts like more dynamic and really cool, I would love that. I'd be all about it.
That we're all doing in the dream. Now, you can get
Make ground mounts great again.
a new mount, the Azure World Chiller, which is basically a blue Deathwing from defeating
That got
Doomwalker,
corrected.
and the old mount that Doomwalker dropped, that is now on the anniversary vendor for 5,000 timed warp.
It's a good time to be back,
Also, Corpse
Blinded.
Revenge,
Welcome
the
back,
classic-inspired Alteric Valley is back, and if you earn 200 time warp badges on the mode on Alliance or Horde, you'll get the Warwolf or the Battle Ram. You can also get some item
gotta
level
watch it,
441 gear with some unique appearances from Azuragos and the Dragons of Nightmare, I
Interesting.
believe, which are a bunch of classic.
By the way, I did do this over Thanksgiving break. I went and got the mount. You can get it. It's a 100% drop. I think the event is still going on. I believe so. Just go out to the Caverns of Time and go do it. It's a 100% drop rate off the Doom fuck boy. I don't know what his
And
name
of course, you can also get loads of Time Warp badges over at the Caverns of Time by picking up a bunch of quests. These obviously are per character, so a good
Blinded.
way for you
I
to
think
get some more
the lore is
badges.
in good hands.
Now,
I'm excited
Blizzard
for it
did
too.
a pretty neat thing. They did an LFR boss medley sort of thing for the 15th anniversary. They did a return to the Molten Core for the 10th anniversary, which makes me wonder, what will the 20th
what will we get for
anniversary
the 20th?
bring? Time for patch 10.2 changes. Okay, a Mirdrasil contains a quest that leads to the incandescent essence, Helm Enchant,
Yes.
and the reagents that drop from bosses to get that and, complete the quest. They were bugged in week 1. They just weren't really dropping.
By the
enough.
way, I like this. I do. I'm not like it's so much. It's so much cooler to like get your enchant through the raid and completing shit and things drop. You put it together, you enchant your helm. I think that's so much cooler than just walking up to a fucking auction house and buying something, right? I think this is so. Yeah, and it takes it away maybe from enchanters, but it's just one item, and I think it's kind of cool. Adds some more lore to it. Like I always thought for Death Knights, using like putting a rune on your weapon. Like, that's so much cooler than just buying a weapon enchant. Jesus Christ. Damn Nox are so fucking scary. Thanks a
So
lot,
the way it
Burning
works is you'll be
Viking.
able to get 10 each week, about 2 to 3 from each boss,
That
and there
damn
will
blurb
be
scares the
built
shit
in
out of me.
catch-up. Get 50
What's
and
up,
you'll have
Bernie?
a snazzy and decently powerful Helm Enchant, where clearly this is a way for Blizzard to provide just a little spurt of player power once core gearing is complete. Now,
Yeah.
PvP has also faced some problems. Gear was weak, being on the veteran track for PvE. Blizzard actually are upgrading all of it to be on the champion track. And of course, your upgrades will carry over. Of
Nice.
course, if you don't want to jump into Arena, you can earn Conquest by doing the new solo queue rated battleground thingy
Yeah.
that gives you Conquest, which is then
PvPers.
testing a feature for the next expansion. Next then, if for some reason you want to go back to the Forbidden Reach or Zaradak Cavern, you've probably
means
noticed
extra
a
effort.
massive sea of rares that you can't defeat alone and very few players around to help you. And imagine a problem like this. 10 rares are up in the zone and there's only a handful of players. What does that mean? No one will get anything done.
Yeah.
Blizzard know this and they're now making it so if a rare is not engaged within 15 minutes, it will despawn.
Why are people still in the Zaralek Caverns? What the fuck are you doing down there? I understand it might be like hot and heavy. It's a good place to go jerk off. What are people still doing down there? What's the point of being down there right now? You get free gear? Oh, okay, so it's like alt shit. People are down there leveling up their alts. Weekly quest gives crests. Oh, flight stones. Okay. So I guess there's reasons, Some of you guys are so damn dedicated. My God, I just passively get flight stones by raiding. What the fuck? People are going down there farming shit.
Making it so that overall fewer rares
WoW
are up
players
at once, which means the
are
players will
peak
be funneled to the
degeneracy.
rares
That's why I
that
love this
are
game.
up, and then basically players will converge with each other and fly between rares, thus creating that MMO death and doom and
Yeah, the
destruction
mob,
and killing
the ball,
ball
death
that
of ball.
forms as people farm up rares. So that's their plan. Also, number one, a bug had made sharding too aggressive, which may have contributed to those zones feeling
true.
empty.
It's true. I
And
am a
two,
rat.
they know that this may suck for people who want to farm a very specific rare, so they are considering a drop rate increase for their unique items. Also this week, the Rathian Virinoth questline
Oh, I
that
didn't
gets
do
you
this.
the Grotto Netherwing Drake, and the new tier quest have opened up, so absolutely check those out on live. And if you want to deep dive into
I didn't
the lore
do
of
that
the
yet. What I did do over Thanksgiving break was the whole finish planting the world tree seed and then you feed people at the fucking dinner and then there's some kind of weird orgy with Khadgar under the tree and everyone's having a good time. I did that quest. It was just another Dragonflight quest line. Touchy feely, everyone's having a good time. Making there's hints at some kind of sexual tension between all the different dragons, and then everyone hugs and kisses, and then somebody goes back to Ardenweald. Like that's what happened in the quest, and I was like, okay, that's great. Move on. More Dragonflight huggy feely shit. The quest line was okay. But maybe this tier 1's kind of cool. I haven't done it yet.
Occasions of the tier quest line, check out this video that we published a few days ago. Okay, that's some housekeeping done. Let's launch into some other things. Now that we're in the second week of Season 3, the Great Vault time is going. Right now, I'm 2 out of 10 heroic. We've had an absolute blast in the new raid, and my vault has got 2 bits of tier plus gloves that I can turn into tier. Quite the decision. Of course, this
ESO. I've gone back to another MMO, Sage. ESO, my favorite MMO. Sorry, I've gone back to Necromancer. Wait, ESO is good. I hear a lot of good things about it. I never played it.
Means I'll be able to get my 4-piece easily on week 2, which is kind of insane. And thanks to the Creation Catalyst changes, I'd very handily get yet another piece of tier next week.
That quest line, I did not listen to what Khadgar said. Maybe I did, but I did stay a while and listen to Thrall and Jaina. And they talked about when the moment the seed was planted, how they heard a voice like a song. That's essentially, that's the Azeroth voice. That's leading into the War Within. That's all a hint of Azeroth and all that. Because that's what Thrall says. It's like a song or whatever. That's what he says. So that was hinting at the War Within expansion and everything. I did stay a while and listen to that. I'm not sure what Khadgar said. I did listen to him, but it wasn't anything that caught my ear. Remind me. Khadgar talked about a Ridicron and spoke of the Harbinger. Okay, so yeah, he said something. That's fine. But I did do the stay a while and listen to a couple of those. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, you can just get tier a lot easier now. And on the topic of the vault and gearing, while it may be too late for you to do this week, as perhaps you've already claimed your vault item, remember
it hinted at
you
the War
can
Within
always
2
use the powerful combo of the Simulation Craft add-on with the Raid Bots website to sim all your gear, including your Great Vault options, and to work out what item is the best upgrade. To do that, it's pretty simple. Open up your Great Vault. If you've got the SimCraft add-on installed, run the /simc command. Copy the string that appears in the pop-up box, paste it into RaidBots' Top Gear page. It will include Great Vault items by default. Just check that the settings at the bottom fit your use case. Run the sim, and it will tell you what works best, and that's what you can safely choose from the vault.
Nice. No thinking required. The thing will just tell you which item to pick from the vault. That's interesting.
Got the awesome Droptimizer tool, which is fantastic when seeking out upgrades in both Raid and Mythic Plus. It's a hell of a tool. Very, very awesome. Okay, next as we enter the second week of Season 3, we've got our first round of Mythic Plus tuning, targeting some of the outlier dungeons, including both nerfs and buffs. We have nerfs to the Throne of Tides, both Wings of Dawn of the Infinite,
a lot of nerfing going on. I saw a lot of
and the Everbloom, while there are buffs to Atal Dazar and bug sort of cheesing fixes to Waycrest Manor, Throne of the Tides, and the Everbloom. Some of these changes are very, very welcome and needed. Others maybe don't go far.
I'm not sure what they did with Waycrest Manor, but I will say I tanked that not too long ago, ran through it, and I think I cleared like 120% of the trash. Like, the party that I was with got upset. They were like, why the fuck are you still killing shit? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know where the fuck to go. I'm just killing shit. I'm a Death Knight. I don't think I just kill. And it's because I'm a scuff tank, and I don't pay attention to routes, and I just go in there and just headstrong whatever the fuck I want to do. Yeah, scuff DK.
Enough or are rather questionable.
It's one of the tags
such
below my
as
stream.
Some troubling spells no longer being line of sightable, and then the removal of a few different
I didn't use the
But the thing is that happening without any compensatory nerfs to the abilities that players were trying to negate because
and we still time to keep, by the
their
way.
tuning really doesn't seem to have been where it should be. Now, going hardcore into the details here is not exactly my jam, so I'd recommend that you check out the content from Automatic Jack, Tettles, Dratnos, and the Titan Forge podcast. Of course, the Race to World First rages on, and so far opinions of this new raid do appear to be very, very positive. And even from my...
I fucking love the new raid. I love it. It's the first raid in a long time that, like, I was gone for Thanksgiving break. That's why, like, nothing's gone up on my YouTube channel, and I haven't been live. But I love the new raid. I craved it while I was gone. For the first time, and I could say maybe since Battle for Dazar lore, I like legitimately was dreaming about the raid. Like I woke up craving the raid. I wanted to go do the raid. I was excited to get back to the raid. It's a great raid. I'm not gonna lie, and I think they knocked it out of the park with it. It's probably it's my favorite of this expansion. It's my favorite in a while.
Admittedly, we clear normal mode in 1 to 2 nights, then we progress heroic, we get curve, and we're kind of happy to leave it there. It's just what my guild enjoy doing, and I've got to say, I am absolutely having a blast with this raid. I mean, man,
Yeah,
on
it's a good
normal,
one.
stuff was all very fun. Farak maybe a bit too easy for my liking, but a beautifully designed boss, as
I think he was
Tindral,
fine.
who's just really cool.
For normal.
And then, even going on to Gnarl route on heroic, because, we were a little undergeared,
normal was
and
fine.
the way that his tuning was, it felt like, this is a boss 1 of a raid, but man, its mechanics are great. And then moving on to boss 2, Ingra, or, you farmed the marks of her in the Suffusion camps in like 10-1. Man, she is such a well-designed boss. I'm having a great time with this raid. And if you want to learn what you need to know about that,
None of the mechanics are bitchy or annoying. That's what I would say about the raid. Like you got to do them. Obviously, you should have mechanics you got to do, but like they're intuitive. Like they're understandable. There's nothing. You don't need 16 add-ons to understand some of these mechanics. You just do them, and that's why I've been enjoying them. I think all the fights are pretty well designed in this raid.
Check out the video that we published about World of Warcraft player data. Some people say, you and your team
It has
don't
been an easy
have
Mythic
real
Plus
numbers.
season.
That is literally bullshit. These
What
are
is that
numbers
clip?
from
I'm gonna look it
Raider.io, and those numbers come from the World of Warcraft API. These are, in fact, numbers from Blizzard, and what they show with Aberrus is worth knowing. A few people said,
Interesting.
oh my god, your video doesn't even have a Mirdrasil, which is a insane thing to say, because a Mirdrasil hasn't happened yet. How could we have the numbers? That being said, because there is a little bit of a special case, we are going to be commissioning a total redo of all data to do season launch, or, raid launch, plus 3 weeks. And we will basically compare the first 3 weeks of,
Mythic
every
raid always
raid
needs
tier,
crazy amount of
maybe
add-ons,
since
of course.
the Nighthold. A lot of work, but with the Mirdrasil being, I think, a real banging raid.
Yeah.
I think this patch, bar
a
some
great raid.
narrative stuff, this patch being a pretty banging patch, actually, and people really seeming to enjoy the Race to World First, even though it did have a few dramas. I am very keen to see where those numbers are. Anyhow, you can hit that video up. Trust me, it's awesome, and it does contain within it some very interesting insights that I do think have a glimmer of hope for Warcraft's future.
Good.
Well, past me, we'll see you over there. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.
Yeah, it was a great raid. Great video. Blizzard dropping a bunch of shit in these 0.5 and 0.7 patches. It's been wild. And they've been keeping it all a secret, too. That's what I've been loving. Like, this stuff has not been coming out through data miners. Nobody knew we were retaking Gilneas until Blizzard said it. And that's how I like it. And I prefer it to be that way. So far, they've been knocking it out of the park. Amir Drasil's great. Everything's been fun. I've been enjoying WoW. And I hope I continue to.